Dr. Ganguly, other panelists, distinguished invitees, organizers of this event, teachers from the various school systems in the country, members from the corporates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me congratulate VARIndia for organizing an interactive session of this kind where technology corporates can interact with educational institutions and education systems in the country. The topic you have identified for this interaction is latest trends and technologies and opportunities in education. Of course, I believe that technological opportunities in education, that could be the theme. And you are focusing on ICT in education. Professor Ganguly has highlighted, he has given an overview of the education scenario of this country vis-a-vis global perceptions. Professor Kailash Nath also mentioned about the challenges in the global scenario. You heard from Herr Tobias what media, particularly visual media, the radio and the TV can do in education. We all are quite aware of the fact that we are making use of technology for a number of activities in our life now. The children are using technology. They are using the social media for different activities. Many of them are availing internet. And there is a need, particularly in this country and particularly in highly populated developing countries, there is a need for contextualized integration of information and communication technology in education. Some of the good schools, well-endowed schools, may be making use of technology to enhance the teaching learning process. Some of the colleges, some of the universities may also be making use of it. What is required is an institutionalization of this process. Scaling up. Scaling up is the real challenge in a country like India. We have to deal with several millions of children. We need several millions of teachers, right from primary school to university system in the country. We need large number of teachers. 11th plan in this country has been aptly described as an education plan. Education for all, the universalization of secondary education, ICT in education, enhancing the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, enhancing the vocational education component in education, in overall education. There are several different national and state level approaches in these areas. When it comes to technology, you know that almost all the state governments, they have an IT policy in education. There is also a national IT policy in education. At the national level, there are also major missions which are providing resources as well as guidance for integration of ICT in education. To name a few, I mentioned about the IT at schools, the school education ICT project. Some of the schools may be participating in it. Some of the state governments have come very much forward in this area. And then the central government is also finalizing an ICT policy in education, particularly for school education. In the collegiate and university education sector, there is a program known as National Program for Technology Enabled Learning, NPTEL, If you just look at the website, NPTEL, National Program for Technology Enabled Learning. This is an activity which is supported, which is organized by 7 IITs and the Indian Institute of Science, spearheaded by IIT Chennai. Very eminent teachers from the IIT system, they have developed modules which are online now, which are in the internet now. It is known as NPTEL. It is just like it is some sort of an open educational resources. And then, since 2 years, in the higher education sector, we have a National Mission of Education through ICT, NME ICT, National Mission of Education through ICT. Under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. There is a mission director for that. There is a country-wide expert team, advisory committee, a task force is created for the National Mission of Education through ICT. Every week they are meeting. They are taking projects online from the teachers, school teachers, college teachers, university teachers, and from institutions other than in the education sector. Developing a module in a 4-sector variant. They are preparing modules for teaching different subjects, different very specific areas. That is called National Mission of Education through ICT, or in short, NME ICT. And there is also another major intervention, national intervention of ICT in education. It is known as NKN, National Knowledge Network. It is spearheaded by the principal advisor to the scientific advisor to the cabinet, Dr. R. Chidambaram, former chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission. And the objective of this National Knowledge Network is to connect all the universities, colleges, research establishments, under the Department of Science and Technology, under the Department of Biotechnology, under the school education system, to connect all these institutions. Or the overall purpose is to provide broadband connectivity to all education institutions. For example, the teaching material available with a good school, it can be made available to anybody in another school anytime. Similarly, some of the best teaching materials developed by maybe in a particular language can be made available to others. This is known as National Knowledge Network. These are the national missions of education through ICT. And in addition to that, there are scattered individual attempts from the colleges, from the universities, from the University Grants Commission, state education departments, and the public and private school network systems, like maybe DPS, maybe other CBSE, other school education systems. There are very specific attempts. So, what is the purpose of all these things? The purpose of all this is to improve the quality of the teaching learning process in the classroom. How information and communication technology can enhance the teaching, enhance the quality of the teaching of a teacher. How information and communication technology can equip a learner much more effectively to understand, to comprehend the subjects. How information and communication technology can better explain a concept which cannot be explained by the conventional classroom method. I used to say as a chemistry teacher, how minus 273 degrees centigrade can be really explained. So some of the thermodynamic concepts in thermodynamics, how they can be better explained with the help of information and communication technology. How a laboratory experiments, for example, a titration, chemistry titration, how it can be better illustrated through a virtual experiment. These are all ICT interventions in the classroom teaching. And these ICT interventions in the classroom teaching are are for improving the quality of the teaching learning process. Technology cannot teach, only teachers can teach. But teachers should understand how technology can be appropriately integrated into their classroom teaching. Technology should be utilized to equip the teachers themselves to understand the advances in their own subject. Continuous competency advancement of teachers is necessary to enhance the quality of the teaching. Every 5 years, you know, the knowledge is expanding like this, even in very specific areas. And therefore, the teacher should be always prepared to understand what is happening new, what is new in their own subject. Then only they can teach. And therefore, there is a need for continuous competency advancement of teachers. But teachers cannot move from their place. Teachers need to be in the school. Teachers need to be in the colleges. Teachers need to be 90% time, total days or in the education institutions. And therefore, how information and communication technology can provide capabilities to the institution so that the teachers can get better equipped for understanding their subject more. So this is where ICT is doing a great deal for continuous competency advancement of teachers. And then I mentioned the challenge of a country like India is to enhance the reach of education. We need to train, we need to provide education for millions of children. We need to understand the reasons for the school dropouts. If 100 children join in the first standard in this country, only 12 complete the 10th standard. Why they are dropping out? We have to bring back them also into the mainstream. This is also a challenge. And therefore, this is about the school education. We have to provide this education for all. That means we have to make use of technology. And only when there is improvement in the quality of the teaching learning process in the classroom, quantity will increase. Whatever targets we fix for quantity or percentage for reach of education, we will not be able to attain it unless and until we improve the quality of the teaching learning process. Simply, children will not stay in the school or students will not go to the classroom unless and until the quality of the teaching learning process is improved. And therefore, the first and foremost concern in integration of information and communication technology is to improve the quality of the teaching learning process. A sociology teacher, a language teacher, or a history teacher, or a chemistry teacher, he or she should understand how information and communication technology can be contextually integrated into their subject to improve the quality of the teaching learning process. There are large number of resources available. You know about OER. OER is the short form for Open Education Resources. University of Harvard, MIT, large number of institutions, they have OER, Open Education Resources. These things are available. Right from school education to the university education, lot of education resources are available. But availability is not enough. We should know how to make use of it, how to contextualize it, how to apply it to our classroom. Therefore, interactions and interventions, qualitative interventions of this kind are very necessary. And when it comes to, I am a teacher in the university system, when it comes to enhancement of gross enrollment ratio in the university education, collegiate education, we say that now we have around 12% of the relevant age group is undergoing education. This is in contrast to our over 50% in developed countries. We want to enhance this gross enrollment ratio from 12 to 20% or 30% in 5 years. How do we do it? We are creating large number of universities, we are creating large number of colleges, but we need teachers. Not only that, we should find out the basic reason why there is no significant enhancement in gross enrollment ratio. If you just look, you should understand how many children are in this particular age group, 16 to 23 age group, are eligible for university entrance, university education. If you just look at the total, not the total age group people, but the total number of people in this age group who are eligible for entry into a university education, that is 12th standard passed. If you take the 12th standard passed students in the whole country, we can see that our gross enrollment ratio is not bad. That means there are a large number of children who have not completed 10th standards. So we have to provide them an alternate route to come to education. And here, through vocational education, through community colleges which we have started, which is according to the global perception, these are all ways of bringing large number of school dropouts back into education. And then we have to make use of ICT for vocational education, for providing skills. By 2022, that is the 75th year of Indian independence, by 2022, we need to provide education and skills to 550 million youth in this country, 550 million youth. And if you just look at the total working population in this country, people who are working, right from construction workers to the so-called knowledge level workers like us, if you just look at the total population, only 5% of the working population has some sort of a certificate or a diploma or a degree. This is in contrast to over 85% in developed countries. So we have to create opportunities for providing certified workforce in a country like India. That means we have to provide skills. And in the area of skill development also, information and communication technology has a great role. So what we have to look is, we have to provide ICT interventions. We have to create ICT interventions for improving the quality of the teaching learning process in the classroom, improve the quality of the teachers, improving the capability of teachers, and thereby reaching more people. And only by such qualitative interventions through ICT, we can really achieve the growth in education, as well as education for all or inclusive growth. And I sincerely believe that interactions of this kind, where ICT companies, ICT corporates are interacting with school education systems, they would provide a right opportunity, a right ground for such understanding of the system, and then apply it forward. Thank you very much.